Hello, everyone. Welcome to continuously delivering legacy applications without sweating real-life DevOps story. So the agenda would be much pretty like going through our legacy stack. I'm going to tell you about Vistaprint Monolith, our homegrown build system, and our Frankenstein Jenkins. Then the moment when we decided to avoid the death by thousands cast. Also, we'll go through the 3 iterations for our cloud-based Jenkins-based CI/CD and some funny DevOOPS moment. I'll share with you the results and some technical ingredients we used. Then, of course, some next steps. A little bit about me. So I'm a father of 2. I'm a lead software at Vistaprint, and I'm an open source contributor. That was my previous job at ST Microelectronics. I used to be in Git community. I built some Linux kernel modules, and I forked the Eclipse, I forked Android open source projects. I'm telling you this because it's about developer experience. I shifted to an entire Microsoft stack right after. I'm also running the Tunis Jenkins area meetup organizer, and you can find me on Twitter. So, Vistaprint is the largest business in Cyprus. Mainly, we sell business cards. We use a website for that. So you pick your products and the initial design, you customize your products, and then you order and you get delivered. We mainly serve small businesses, and we try to be, let's say, as automating processes as possible. So the Vistaprint website is the flagship where most of the customers are buying their business card and postcards. This is what we call internally a monolith, but it's mainly 200 developers working on it. It's more than 1,000 projects, C# projects, Wix projects. I saw a piece of VB inside it. We deliver more than 700 web binaries. We release each 3 weeks, and there is one single organization to drive conversions for the whole monolith. Fun. Someone got the idea to build a HomeRoble build system, so vintage. It was a lot of deliverables put together in a big box, Microsoft box, and then it's fully architected around SVN hooks, Windows Server features, .NET Framework versions, and then it stores everything in a SQL Server database. So the best part is we also built system monitoring. So each developer committing, there is a system that will show how your build is going against all the 1,300 projects, and if you break a build, then you got a message. The idea of getting it called Terry is coming from an old movie, which is called Terry Tate, the Office Linebacker. I'm going to show you this video, so you got the spirit of this tool.
Tate, some people thought we were crazy, but I'm a firm believer in paradigm breaking, outside the box thinking.
Hey, buddy.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
And since Terry's been with us, our productivity has gone up 46%. We're getting more from our employees than ever before.
You know you need a cover sheet on your TPS reports, Richard. That ain't new, baby.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Janice.
But what's really impressed me is how Terry's become part of the Felcher family.
Hi, baby.
He fits right in here.
That's a long distance call, Doug.
To be honest, I wish Reebok sent us 10 Terry Tates.
You want to play games, Gene? Well, when it's game time, it's pain time, baby. Woo!
All right. So this was the culture behind the Terry thing. Every time you commit, probably Terry is going to hit you. When it's build time, it's real time, baby. this happening to 200 developers for this amount of projects and this amount of deliverables, 500 times a day. OK. At some moment, we added another layer, a Frankenstein Jenkins. So we decided to use Jenkins for release, the nice open source Jenkins. We got 1 million builds a month, more than 7,000 jobs, a lot of agents, Windows agents, and a lot of secrets, AWS secrets, credentials, a lot of stuff. More than 200 plugins, and we orchestrated the Monolith deployments right there. At some moment, our organization decided we need to avoid the death by thousands cuts. Everyone was looking at us as an organization. You won't make it. It's hard. We tried before you. So the challenge was to decrease the lead time for deployment, which is 3 weeks. We also need to decrease the lead time for coding testing, and also we need to provide a superior developer experience. Meanwhile, we need to keep running the business because this is a profitable monolith. That was the challenge. Some cool guy got, OK, with new priorities, we'll be revisiting most of our tooling. At the first look, we thought that it was a tools problem. So we picked CloudBees. All right. On the beginning, we got 2 separate worlds. A world for monolith developers. They're using Subversion. They're using Cherry for build. They're using VPDev, ARM console, release notes. These are HomeRoble tools for managing releases, dealing with NetScaler load balancers. A lot of nightmares. We got Heaven on the bottom, people using Atlassian Bitbucket, using Jenkins, using AWS ECR for container registries, and they're deploying on top of Kubernetes on AWS. They share some tools to share artifact management and Octopus for deployments. We decided to converge at some moment. We need to provide the same developer experience for both worlds. So we said, OK, we need to build pull request. We need to move to Git flow workflow. Let's try multi-branch pipelines. What about getting ephemeral build agent? The story behind like pets and cattle. This is really compelling for us. We managed to wrap every piece of PowerShell scripts that used to build the old monolith into pipeline steps or stages, and it worked for us. But immediately after wrapping that, we got the first DevOps movement. All right, SVN checkout is too slow. Fine, we know some piece of Java. We're going to build a plugin for that. Because the SVN kit library was too slow. It does not use all the resources of the system, so the full checkout of the code was like 1 hour and 20 minutes, while running SVN commands directly on the box is about 10 minutes. And then we figured out that it was a bad idea. Let's move to Git. This happened back in 2017. It's never too late to move to Git. So we got through that, the feedback loop. Every time you open a pull request, similar to what you do when you work on GitHub or any preferred Git flavor, you got your pull request built, and you got a feedback loop. The developer model was a little bit better after that. Through the first iteration, we removed Subversion, we killed Teddy, and we removed Jenkins open source. We converged for both source code management and build automation to a shared paved path. No matter you are doing microservice development or monolith development, you share the same tools, the same culture. So good so far, but we needed also to release. So in order to release, we just built another pipeline, which is mainly trying to get fresh checkout, trying to build again, and trying to publish to JFrog Artifactory. After that, we've been asked, hey, could you please deploy? We can do it. We built another pipeline to deploy. It worked for us. It was successful. Now we converged the pivot path, which is the current. We got Bitbucket, HashiCorp Vault for secret management. We got Cloud Core for both microservices and Monolith. We got a bunch of other tools for container registry, which is Red Hat QA, Red Hat Ansible Tower for some automated configuration management. And then we got the best DevOps moment ever. I was back in Tunis walking my dog, and I got paged on Sunday around 7 p.m. We are not able to provision containers to build. The build was populating the data lake for Vistaprint, and if it does not run, it costs thousands of dollars every minute. So there was a serious bleed, and I need to find a solution. Fun. Let's go home. I opened the laptop. My Mesos cluster went in split brain scenario. Fun. I can figure it out. It's a matter of dealing with the Zookeeper. What is the PEM to SSH to that AWS box? Oh, where we are storing our secrets. Nobody thought about that. Fine. Where is the guy that built that EC2 instance? He left the company. Fun. All right. I think I'm in trouble. I tried to mitigate the issue. I got a box, provisioned the container, used an old, nice Jenkins slave to that living container. It was my last living. If it dies, Mesos was not able to reprovision it again because it's in split situation. So time is going. Called CloudBees support. Guys, I'm in trouble. I prepared my resume. I'm looking for another job. Well, you should save the situation. It's more for the company, for my colleagues. It's not for me. They said, all right, let's take a look. Fine, we're going to recreate your cluster. Are you serious? I can do it. This is the holiday season. This is the period of the year where Vistaprint makes the maximum amount of cash. I can't afford that. He said, trust us. We know our job. OK, so we used to get 3 controllers for Mesos, 11 EC2 runner agents. We're going to kill every piece of infrastructure in AWS, and we just recreate them, the entire software stack, with EBS volume snapshot. And what about my data? He said, you are not losing your data. Honestly, I was not so trusting him, but I have no other options, so go for it. And the guy just asked me, hey, share your console. You're going to do it yourself. Fine. So I shared my console. I started, OK, removed every piece of infrastructure. The VPC is clean. Let's go. Recreating it. After 1 hour, I got my cluster back, the data lake full of data, and I've never lost any piece of data. So that day, I really wants to hug every CloudBees support engineer. You guys saved my life. So thank you. And at some moment, we said as a team, we got a lot of people coming from. I got a CNCF ambassador in my team. I got a lot of Linux lovers. So it hurts us to work on a legacy system with a technology we don't feel it's a lot of fun to work on it. So let's go to Foundation and let's use the same tool we love to build that monolith. So we said we're going to migrate to CloudBees Core. We love Kubernetes. We do Kubernetes on communities in another life. Let's do it in work and be paid for that. We decided to use COPS, Terraform. So we did a postmortem for that issue, and we decided to put the everything as code thing. So Terraform, AWS, and then a multi-master Kubernetes cluster, so it survived for any kind of issue. And then we used Velro, which is formerly used to be called Hep2Arc. So after the acquisition from VMware, it's called Velro to manage the backup. And guess what? We got lower AWS cost because we used to be on 11 worker of M4 XX large. We just put an instance group of 4 M4 XX large, and COPS will manage this scale up for us if we need that. Nice. Now, how are we going to do the migration? It's like changing tires of a car while driving. It's not so obvious, so we said, let's migrate the credentials. Let's get plugins harmonized between the legacy CGE and the new CloudBees core. Then we converted agent templates to pod templates. And then a piece of cake. You back up your CGE managed master to an S3 bucket and go to the other platform and import it. It worked like a charm for us. And bonus, we got DevOps. So DevOps helped us a lot to gain visibility between the 200 developers, but also when I'm reporting something to product owners, CTO, architects. There is a powerful feature for value stream mapping where we used the Jira ticket on the commit message, so I could later understand who is using my EC2 build time and for what kind of feature and for what kind of business. So it simplifies the chargeback later, and it gives us visibility who's using our AWS resources and is it worth doing it or not. So far the results was like impressive. We managed to go from 3 weeks release cycle to 1 week release cycle. And then we created a supported developer experience. Even though you're working on the monolith, you're using Kubernetes. Don't worry. You build once, you deploy many. We pushed identical packages through multi-stage of our automated pipelines. And we managed to visualize the release data for stakeholders using DevOps. And of course, the migration was easy because CloudBees, it's pretty much your Jenkins you used for long years, so it's not another tool, another developer experience. Now, some ingredients, which is probably something you saw previously on a company you worked for, and you're not so confident that you can make it. Ephemeral Windows agents, that was the first challenge. We're doing either Mesos or Kubernetes stacks, but we mainly build on Windows containers. How are we gonna orchestrate that? So the only obvious way to do that, we'll use Amazon ECS. And then there is an amazing plugin called Amazon EC2 Container Service Cloud plugin, and then Amazon EC2 plugin. This gives us the ability to get on-demand container provisioned for us and immediately bound to our managed master as Windows agents or Windows slaves. And then we build them immediately as the pull request happens. They live only the duration of the pull request build, and they're killed right after. Fun. So how are we going to build those Windows containers? OK, let's use Jenkins again. So we built a pipeline. We said everything as code. So we took HashiCorp Packer. We built that image starting from a Windows AMI existing on AWS. And then we need also to put some, let's say, specific things to Vistaprint. And this is what makes our life really horrible. We started from build agent. There is tons of chocolate packages that needs to live there. Fun, we put them. We need Windows SDK. We put Windows SDK. We need a specific version of .NET frameworks. Let's put it, no problem. And then Visual Studio. Are you serious? You want Visual Studio on your build agent? They said, we need that. No problem, I can ship it. The day you don't want it anymore, I just remove that line, I commit, I get a new image pushed, and the next pull request is going to provision a new image without Visual Studio 15. The G tracking, and then the Wix toolset, and the build tools for Visual Studio. So if you looked to that image, you would ask yourself, what these guys are doing? This is the monolith. This is where everyone was afraid to touch this piece. Nobody believed us that we could put this in a container, run it, make it a Jenkins slave, an ephemeral Jenkins slave running on top of AWS, and it lives just the amount of time you needed to build your code. It didn't work from the first shot. It took us a lot of time to make it working smooth. We faced other challenges with AWS itself, with networking. And this is the moment when we realized that it's not about tooling. It's more about seeing the journey. And at some moment when you need to re-architect, you should be a little bit brave. Take the risk. No matter what's going to happen, you need to architect. And at some moment, we also delivered them as ECR. So not only we built using them, but also developers use them as their dev environment. So if they want to try something on their own, they just pull them from ECR, run them on their preferred environment, and test them. So I can't tell you how much people are loving me in the company right after that. So all of these developers just giving me kudos. This guy is brilliant. Nice. So the next steps, we really want to go to pipelines as YAML. We hope we can go to one-day release. It's not us, it's the database. So these guys, we're going to bring them on our side. We'll help them to emphasize DevOps mindset. It's not going to be easy, but we are more confident than ever because we dealt with the monolith. So we proved that we are successful. The most compelling part for me, now Kubernetes 1.14 promised that we could use Windows nodes. So for me, it means that the entire ECS stack would disappear, and I can get whatever hybrid cluster or another Kubernetes cluster to put my agents and use them to build. So this means for me that I would be totally running on top of Kubernetes, and then it makes my architecture more organic and more friendly to my team. And finally, I want to ship my build logs to Sumo Logic because I do believe on analytics, and even more, I need to detect some correlation between some hidden packages in the monolith. And fortunately, I got some nice logs from Jenkins or CloudBees, but my container is ephemeral, so I need to ship the logs before it dies. This is the most challenging piece to do it for the next sprint. That's pretty much it. So if you want to ask me anything related to that real-life story, feel free. I can answer you in French or in English. Thank you.